My name is Yolanda Hinchliffe and I'm the owner of Suka Sport. I have a huge passion for sport and fitness. So does my business partner, luckily, and I think that's what led us to wanting to open up a whole different type of sports shop. We have a large shop on Beak Street, which is in the heart of Carnaby in London, stocking the most advanced technical men's sportswear. When we started up our business, I think passion was everything to us, and I knew that we could translate that directly on the shop floor. From my point of view, we're all athletes, which makes a huge amount of difference when you're serving people that are either just getting into sport or have been training their entire lives. And I really think that that passion comes through for us. The legal structure that we chose was a limited liability company, so Suka is registered as Suka Sport Limited. It took us probably 3 months to set up Suka, which seems quite quick, but it really is that easy. I think everybody thinks it's a really difficult and long-winded process, but you know, a couple of days of filling things out and getting on it and you can have a business. We considered a couple of different options when we were setting up the business. Obviously, because there are 2 of us involved, we could have had something like a partnership. The other option, of course, is now a limited liability partnership, but in the end we settled on a limited liability company. It just added a little bit more kudos to our status, and from a legal point of view it allowed us to keep our personal assets slightly safer. In order to set up a limited liability company, you need to incorporate your business. This means registering it with Companies House. What that does is it registers your name and what you do, and it also gives you a company number. That company number then allows you to start trade. So it's what you need to work with suppliers, buy stock in, all of these kind of things. In order to register for PAYE, you need to contact the HMRC. You literally download a couple of forms, fill them out, and what your PAYE allows you to do is employ staff, pay their tax and national insurance, but also to give yourself an income. So even if you don't have any staff, it allows you to pay yourself. I think if there are any disadvantages of setting up a limited liability company, it could be that there's slightly more paperwork involved. You definitely do need to make sure you're getting a lot of forms in, and obviously you have to do a few more returns every year, so you need to keep everything on file, and there's a lot more paperwork. And secondly, at the beginning it can be a little bit more expensive, but you may find that that investment really pays off. The best thing about being registered as a limited liability company is that it allows us to grow quite organically. From our point of view, we've already got a share system put into place, and that means that if in a few years we decide to sell some shares, or we need to sell shares to attract investors, we've already got those systems put into place. In terms of now, when we're just starting to sell abroad and also buy in from abroad, we've already got a company number, we're already VAT registered. All of those things are vital, and so it just means that whilst it was a little bit more time consuming and a little bit more expensive at the beginning, we don't have to worry about any of that in the long run. Looking back, I'm really glad that we did originally become a limited liability company. From our point of view, it allowed us to attract suppliers that probably wouldn't have come on board if we weren't already a company. And also, I think with landlords nowadays, they like to see that you are a registered company, and it can add a little bit more kudos to a new business. And I think that's probably the biggest difference it made to us. My 3 top tips on setting up a business are: number 1, live your brand. So you need to be the one that is the most passionate about it, and remember when you're trying to set everything up and pay everything and everything is on top of you, that it is an exciting process. Number 2 is to be incredibly organised. All those receipts and forms and bits of paper and scraps here and there need to be filed away, they need to be kept, they need to be organised. It just makes the overall process much easier. And number 3 for me, it would be just keep yourself informed. There are tons of ways of learning more, but you need to kind of be up to date on things like changes in the VAT laws, or what you need to be filing, or when your dates are. So from my point of view, it was to be as informed as possible about those procedures, just to make the whole thing a kind of simpler process.